So I was waiting in the airport parking lot for more rides, but the government has decided they're not going to send any. They rather harass me. As soon as I pull out of the parking lot, of course, they have the paramedics drive by this exit with their sirens on. Um, I've only had 2 rides today. I started at about 4 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. I've only had 2 rides. I've only made $60 because of the government's nonstop gang stalking. I've worked 5 days this week. The hours that I work have been 7+ hours on each day, and I've only made $611. So the government continues to, number one, block the rides, block income. All they want to do, place in the vehicle as threat liaisons. Every time I send something to the court, they retaliate and reduce the income. So I was able to make, $1,200 before. Then it went to 1,000. Then it went to 800. So now this week is 600 because the United States government continues to engage in nonstop gang stalking and harassment. They continue to follow me everywhere I go. This is probably one of them right now. That followed me in the gas station just now when I pulled in. Because that's all they do all day long is follow me everywhere I go. So of course the government is continuing to harass me. They pulled an airport bus up behind the vehicle. And then they had a few people pull into the gas station just now that are gang stalking me. One is a dude with dreads who kept making sure he was shaking his dreads over by me while he was pretending to get ice. And the government basically broke the machine, the ice machine, so it only dispenses cubed ice. Because yesterday I asked about crushed and cubed ice. Told you they're a bunch of psychos. See, this is the airport bus. So they stay harassing me with airport buses, airport employees. The two vehicles right there, those are handicapped people that they have pull in. They have handicapped people stalking and following me all day long. A lot of them are faking being a handicap for handicap stickers. But as you can see, the government has continued to block my income to prevent me from paying bills or trying to communicate with the court. Every time I send the court in documentation about my income, they retaliate and make it less. Just like every time I ask them about the heat in the house, they retaliate and make it hotter. And then they say, oh, well, we lost access to the remote. We lost remote access to the air conditioner. Somebody in the house did it. Okay, well, who in the house has the air conditioning code? Because supposedly you locked it and put a remote on it, put an access code so no one can have access to it. Because everybody was going in there just making it different temperatures. So you changed it and blocked it. So you gave someone in the house permission to harass me, is what you're saying. And every time you ask them who did they give access to in the house, they ignore you. Every time you ask them who's downstairs underneath the room because the person's banging on the wall, they ignore you. And they say, oh, we're going to check into it. Oh, we're going to check into it. And they never get back to you. Then they send you emails. Oh, we know this is frustrating for you. No, it's frustrating for you because I'm going to keep sending you the emails. I have it as documentation of you basically coordinating with the United States government to engage in psychological warfare against an individual using the people that own the property that are military. I literally been working since 4 o'clock trying to get rides, and the government has blocked it and only sent me 2 rides, and now it's 9:09. So this is what they intend to do all day. And then the rides that they want to send me just now, they want to send rides to Forney. They want to send basically all rides on the outskirts. Just like when I was doing loan signing work, they blocked all income from the surrounding local area, and they only wanted me to drive on the outskirts. The reason why is because the longer the drive is the more harassment, the more the people they can get behind the car, to jump in front of the car, cut the car off, get behind you, tailgate the car for hours while you're trying to take the person there and come back. And then they have law enforcement in each of those counties geared up where they tell them that you're coming, and then they have them ready to stage fake accidents on the highway, place tons of cars with hazards, and then have them driving back and forth across the intersection, just like just now when I was leaving the airport. Just like they used to do nonstop in front of my home all day long. So it's clear that it's the United States government. It's clear that it's them engaging in psychological warfare and warfare against American citizens. It's very clear. All of this is very clear. And then every passenger they place in the car, literally every day, every passenger is a threat liaison. They get in the car, they get out and say, no worries, be safe. They have fake little conversations in the back seat thinking like they're harassing you, but I just ignore them because I know they're the government. So they basically will start engaging in fake conversations about something that you either said on social media, that you emailed the pastors, or that you communicated to the court. They'll make up a case. They'll make up something to say. So the guy earlier in the car, he was from Zimbabwe. So I was talking about Dan Gote and his public offering. So then what they did was they put 3 white girls in the car, and the 3 white girls talked about how they work for an oil placement company, and how they work and how they barely work and how much money they make. And then one girl was like, oh, I told the other girl I was going to kill her and use her hair and take her hair and make a wig out of it. And then she was like, oh, no, you didn't say you was going to kill me. She goes, yeah, but I said I was going to use your hair for a wig. And then, like, just like shit. And then they get quiet, and then they stare at me in the mirror. And then I'm like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. But that's the training that the government engages in. So these white girls are basically, the government is training them to go around targeting and harassing people. That's why you know the white boys killed Nolan Wells. First of all, his middle name is Xavier. Last name is Wells. So, you know, he had on the number 14, which basically the number 14 represents me. And then the case was in Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson County, or Jackson County. I'm not sure if it was Mississippi, but it's Jackson County, which the case is Jackson National Life Insurance. He was a sacrifice. Then they took his throat. Like, why the hell didn't you give his throat back? They took his throat. So, and then they had to fix a boat. Nobody knows where the boat got fixed at, because everybody's playing the sheriffs and the FBI and the police department. Everybody's going around manipulating docs and shit, just like they did on my case. So the young boy clearly was a sacrifice. He clearly was sacrificed. It's very obvious that he was sacrificed. And every case that they've been having about little black boys or little black girls being hung in trees, or the stuff that they've been doing to them, they've been sacrificed. Now they got this jackass driving behind the vehicle high beaming me. This person has on their high beams. They again today was having people follow me in 77 license plates, harassing and gang stalking me literally all day long. The government will send you all the way out to the middle of nowhere, barely pay you, where half of the fee you got to divide by 2 hours, and then you got to subtract the fact that you had to get gas going there and gas coming back. So basically, you're not making any money. And this is how the government has been harassing me since I got to this state. And before I even got to this state, they were harassing me in Georgia the same exact way. While I was working for Jackson National, they harassed me the same way. While I was working for Nationwide Financial, they harassed me the same way. While I was working for Prudential, they harassed me the same way. They took my territory away from me. They gave it to Chris Shada, who was Jewish. They took the other part of my territory away from me as I was growing it, took it away and gave it to Nicole Drewski, who was also Jewish. And then they sit and follow me around all day, gang stalking and harassing me all day long. Harassing me while I was at Jackson National, while I was at Prudential. Had me assaulted at both locations, both insurers. This was all the government the whole time. And the fact that they're hiring military people and making them managers to run psychological warfare on black people should be alarming. But you got the retards of the Divine Nine going around helping support this nonsense. And that's why the government's going around targeting and terrorizing black people for chaos and drama. It makes no sense, but that's what they're engaging in. The fact that every time I move to a neighborhood, they got the whole neighborhood watching me, the whole community trying to attack me. Why do you got to go around paying people to attack and harass somebody? But that's what the United States government does. It's Friday. You would think you would have more than 2 rides. No, more than 3 rides. I had 3 rides. One was the lady with the service dog who sat in the back seat and coughed the whole time with her mom. After the government had the threat liaison in the car earlier this week, I told you guys about, who said, oh, well, how do you feel about service dogs? And then what, 2 days later, the government sticks somebody in the car with the service dog. It's not a coincidence. Talking about, oh, we don't have to pay the pet fee. We don't have to pay that. We had a conversation with Lyft. Lyft said we don't have to pay the pet fee. Okay, well, I don't give a shit if you don't have to pay it or not. You should tell somebody if you're getting in their vehicle with the dog. Because not everybody wants a damn dog in their vehicle, especially when they're getting paid pocket change to transport your dumb ass across the street. You could have walked. There is clearly nothing wrong with you that you're going around harassing people for the United States government. What the fuck do you need a service dog for? And then, of course, she has to sit behind me with the service dog. She put the dog behind me on the floor. It's not a coincidence. All of this is engineered by the government as nonstop harassment. And the lady that they placed in the car, she was a teacher. She was a former principal. The one that was asking me about the service dog. She was a teacher and a former principal. And her daughter is about to work for Columbia University in the research division, writing a report talking about another report was a lie. So she's going to doctor her own report and write that report. How we know your report ain't a lie either? Because your mom's over here harassing people for the United States government. What type of shit that goes on? Her dad works for autistic children to do dental work, to put them under with anesthesia. And then the mom's in the back seat saying, okay, she had red hair. So, they placed a bunch of redheads in the car because I told you guys about my red hair a long time ago. So that's why everybody's having all the red hair hype. It's not a coincidence this shit just came out of nowhere and now all of a sudden people want to wear red hair. No, it's the United States government goes around taking what I say and then starts harassing and gang stalking me with the information. Alright, well cool. I'm gonna let it out. Now everybody knows what's happening. And then the girls that they had in the back seat, they were in a sorority. Just like the boys that they had in the back seat, that they had kick in the back of the seat, knee in the back of the seat, they were also in a fraternity. This asshole right here, zipping in and out of the lanes, high speed, and watch, he's going to try to get him over in front of the car. Because that's what he do. The government has them driving at high speeds and then trying to cut in front of the vehicle. As I go to the property, they do it all day long. And it doesn't matter if I'm going to the property, they just do this all day long. They give these assholes trucks, the same assholes that they paid to attack the United States Capitol. They gave them, all of them got COVID funding. Nothing was wrong with these jackasses. All of them got COVID funding, and then they go around using their trucks to bully and terrorize people and engage in dangerous driving conditions on the highway. And then their wives, they got little minivan cars. Teslas. They gave them Teslas. So they can record them going around harassing you all day and all night long for the United States government. If they were so bright and intelligent, why do they got to go out of their way to gang stalk a black woman all day and all night long? Assaulting me in the head with directed energy weapons while I'm sleeping. Why do they got to go through all of that? Why is it so important? Why do they got to go through all of that? If they were so smart, why do they have to manipulate the metrics this hard to prove who they are? If you are who you are, you wouldn't have to go through all of this shit. So look at him. He's right here. He still hasn't gone anywhere. He wanted to zip and speed and zip and get in front of the lane so he can slow down and still stay next to the car. That's the type of shit the government does all day long. That's how you know it's them. Because if he was in such a rush to get going, he would have been going. But he wanted to zip it in and out of the lanes until he got next to the vehicle, and now he want to slow down. He don't want to drive fast no more. Now, I thought you were Speedy fucking Gonzalez a second ago. Here goes his buddy right here. They like to tag team. Now my damn head hurts. I've been having a headache all day because I woke up of being assaulted with directed energy weapons. So I was just trying to push to make some rides. So the fact that they're just going to have me working from 4 to 9 and only give me 3 rides and only make $60, then I'm done for the day. Because I'm not going to keep sitting here and then all they want to do is send me 2 hours out, an hour each way out, and pay you $15. This is nonstop harassment by the government. It goes on literally all day long. And like I said, the ACLU, the NAACP, the American Bar Association, all of them organizations need to be void. They need to, anything that they got going on needs to be revoked. Because they're not doing a damn thing. The American Bar Association is going around harassing and targeting people and fixing cases. There goes the assholes over there. There's non-stop gang stalking. So you can't get over because they like to bump you off the exit. Cool, I'll get off the next one. I'll go up. You're not about to harass me. They do this all day and all night long, the United States government. And you would think somebody in the government, someone in some agency somewhere will have some damn common sense to tell them what they're doing, they shouldn't be doing it. But you don't. You don't. Here they are right here with the 75 license plate. You filing documents in court, telling the court what defense counsel is doing, and they tell you, oh, this is not related, and then, you know, they dismiss it. Take suggestions from the American Bar Association. They're over there sending each other signals on how to litigate a case. It's a criminal enterprise. I knew it was a black coat mafia. That's why I called it that. And that's exactly what it is. They done stole my house, stole all my stuff, and made up shit, lied. Manipulated court docs, manipulated proceedings, and lied just to harass me. Because their goal was for you to crash out so they can call you insane. But see, that didn't happen. Because I'm not about to argue with these fools. They're retarded. So then that pissed them off even further, that I wouldn't argue with them. So then they continue to harass me. All right, what's cool then? Let's continue to assault her with directed energy weapons and thermal cannons. And when she sends stuff to politicians and the court and the judges and law enforcement, let's just tell her it's not happening and ignore her and dismiss it, and then double down on what we're doing to her. So she has nowhere to go. No, I have somewhere to go. It's to Jesus Christ. I'm going to just pray to Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ going to deal with them. And then whatever little fake gods that they praying to, then they can ask the little fake gods to give them assistance. And of course, that was them sending the bus down, because they like to do that when I'm going to the property. And then I didn't even notice this yesterday. So basically, they just moved somebody else in the house with 77 in their license plate, just like they did at the other property. See this right here? You see that? XST6778. Just like they did at the other property with Tasha Lavelle Tolliver. You see that? This is the government. I knew this was the government. The fact that they got to go through all of that nonstop on a daily basis to gang stalk me. Now, all the little psychos, they at the house, they just parked in the back. Because I'm not at the property yet. I told you guys they keep using the number 677 to target me. The fact that they just moved somebody in the property, just like at Tasha Lavelle Tolliver place, they had Trey move in, Krista's boyfriend, Trey move in with the 77 in his plate. And then the government follows me around all day with the 77 number. I told y'all.